clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold, sweeter also than honey and a honeycomb. You may be seated. It's my honor today to bring our teacher. Kind of known her for a little bit. One of the first 3 times I met her, she was mean to me. Maybe all 3 times she was mean to me. But as I've gotten to know her through our life and being married to her sister, what you see on Sunday is what you're going to see on Friday. And she loves God. And it's my honor today to bring our teacher, Alicia Stewart, and her title is A Bitter End to Bitterness.
I read a quote from one of my favorite authors a few weeks ago. If you want to know what your heart is filled with, you have to listen to what your mouth is saying. My stomach all of a sudden was in my chest, and suddenly I felt dehydrated. Like a movie reel, God played in my mind specific interactions I had with someone whom we'll call Marcy. It was then I realized I had bitterness in me. Hebrews 12:14-15 reads in the New International Version, make every effort to live in peace with everyone and to be holy. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord. See to it that no one falls short of the grace of God, and that no bitter root grows up to cause trouble and defile many. Our relationship with God revolves around our relationship with people. He entrusted people to us with a mission, to see to it that no one falls short. Was I doing this with Marcy? I sat back in this moment and I examined myself. God, where is the bitterness in me? And would you know it? He answered. Marcy and I have butted heads, and unnoticed by me, that became a festering thorn in my flesh. I felt I was walking in love through my tolerance of Marcy. When we'd interact, I would smile and act cordial. God asked me at this point in my self-reflection, what were you feeling behind that smile? What did you say to others about her when she left? My eyes swelled with tears, and the lump that had made its way to my chest was now in my throat, because through the tears in my eyes, it became clear to me. You see, my bitterness was hidden behind my reason. We reason our way into bitterness with comments like, I have a right to feel like I do. I did nothing to deserve this, and so it's her responsibility to fix it, not mine. I would cringe behind my helpful smile when Marcy walked into the room. Just the mention of her name would get me sideways. I would share my feelings of bitterness with others, wanting them to feel the same way I did about her. Even when she did something deserving of recognition, I would get frustrated because to me, the 5 other things she did wrong voided any of her right doing. You see, we'll hold our offender captive and act as if this punishment brings them justice. Sound familiar? One author explains, if not careful, we'll fall prey to believing that the right thing is more important than doing the right thing. Imagine if God treated or thought about us this way. Hebrews refers to a bitter root. Roots produce plants, and this plant produces bitter fruit. When Samuel went to anoint the son of Jesse to be king, Samuel looked on the eldest Eliab, and God said, look not on his countenance, for the Lord looketh on the heart. What was in Eliab's heart that God saw? We are exposed to some of this after David was anointed king and approached the Israelite camp right before he fought Goliath. The Bible says this, Eliab burned with anger at David and said, why did you come down here? And who did you leave your sheep to? I know your pride, David, and how wicked your heart is. You came down only to watch the battle. Now we see a glimpse of what God saw. Everything that came out of Eliab was his own issues of the heart that he was projecting onto David. After all, his younger, lesser deserving brother was anointed to be king over him, and now was there to flaunt it. The Bible says David was a man after God's own heart. The pride, the wickedness, and bitterness of the heart was Eliab's alone. Have you been an Eliab to a David in your life? Yeah. I believe God has brought your Marcy to your mind today. Ask God to reveal what is allowing bitterness to create a stronghold in your spirit. The end to your bitterness will taste bitter, but like T.F. Tenney said, crow isn't good no matter how good you cook it, and I have eaten plenty. There is going to be pain, embarrassment, and bitter discomfort in the process of exercising your heart. When training for a marathon, the runner doesn't run the distance that's easy for them because that doesn't build stamina, but rather they run until their muscles burn, and each breath is harder than the last. It's the people that make forgiveness hard that God uses to build the muscles of our hearts. It comes down to the battle between your emotions and the submission of your will to the will of God. I asked God to reveal to me what was not of him. People who we see are the source of the issue are actually who God uses to answer those prayers and reveal what's in us. Jesus said in Matthew 5:44 to love our enemies, bless them that curse us, do good to them that hate us, and pray for those who despitefully use us. Luke 6:35 says, and your reward shall be great, and ye shall be the children of the highest, for he is kind to the unthankful and the evil. God will heal you, but you must keep the infection out. Do you pray favor, financial blessings, good health, and emotional strength for your Marcies? There's the bitter end, the tough, gritty crow we may have to eat to end the bitterness in our hearts. One author said, in order to activate love into your life toward people, you cannot love on your own, but love starts by putting forth action. God said in Matthew, pray, physical action, and to do good things, physical action to those that hate you. God healed the leper, but when he returned to give thanks, action, God made him whole. Jesus, while nailed to a cross, prayed for his betrayers. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. Stephen, in the process of being stoned, prayed to God, lay not this sin to their charge. So God, I pray for our Marcies. Lay not their sins to their charge. This is the bitter end to my bitterness. T.F. Tenney wrote, I shall allow no man to belittle my soul by making me hate him, but by releasing the other person, you are releasing yourself. Psalm 66:18 reads, if I regard iniquity in my heart, the Lord will not hear me. What then are we releasing to ourselves too? By releasing this person, you release the iniquity in your heart so God can hear you. Romans 5:5 says, we grieve the Spirit of God when we know what steps to take, but refuse to take them. God told us what the steps are in our opening text. Make every effort to live in peace with everyone and to be holy. To see to it that no one falls short of the grace of God and that no bitter root grows and defiles. So I ask you to examine yourself this Mother's Day. Who's the Marcy God placed in your life? Search us, O God, and know our hearts. Try us and know our thoughts. Remember, we can't change the way we feel, but we can change the way we respond. Thank you for allowing me to share a little bit of honey.